Good morning, Middle Tennessee, and welcome to The Rise. I'm Mason Brown.
And I'm Katie Inman.
And we're here to take your MT mornings to the next level.
So let's get started.
Coming up, Don't Stop Believing. A beloved Nashville mural is restored, and with it, a trendy photo op.
Are you smarter than an 8th grader? Meet a middle schooler who solves puzzles with no problem.
Women's History Month. Learn how female students at MTSU are working to make a difference in a male-dominated industry.
Music revolution. Record labels used to make the stars, but what does it take to make it big in modern music?
All that and more today on The Rise.
It's Wednesday, March 29th, and once again, we welcome you to The Rise, reporting information, sharing entertainment.
We got a great show coming up. We'll be talking about the evolution of the music industry.
Also coming up, we'll find out about an MTSU organization who are champions of women in film.
But first, let's start the show. Let's find out what's happening at MT.
Well, 5 years ago, a mural was painted in Nashville that went on to become an iconic symbol and a social media phenomenon.
That's right. And earlier this month, that work of art was unfortunately vandalized. Our producer, Whit Laxon, tells us that the mural's artist is encouraged that the public is going to stay positive.
Thanks to social media, it's no secret that Nashville tourists and residents alike gather here for a photo op.
I thought about all the white girls that were like, oh my God, I can't take a photo anymore.
But 2 weeks ago, this iconic mural was no longer a picture-perfect backdrop.
I think it's such an empowering symbol for our community, and to put tar on something like that is so sad.
The news broke on March 15th, just 10 days before the 5th anniversary of the mural's creation.
There's always going to be setbacks and negative things in life. You just kind of got to roll with it.
Adrian Sapriti is the artist behind I Believe in Nashville.
It was just a design I had that I was like, I don't really know what to do with this design. Let me put it up as a mural and see what happens.
And what's happened is that his artwork has become an icon through a bigger cultural movement.
The original I Believe in Nashville is located here at 12 South, but it's not the only DCXV mural you'll find in Music City.
These are among the many other murals in Nashville that are now keeping our Instagram feeds aesthetically pleasing as we strike a pose for more likes.
This is like one of the biggest social media worthy places to post a picture of in Nashville.
And there's good news for those whose favorite mural is the OG I Believe in Nashville. Yes, it's back.
The idea that this image can give you a connection to the city and bring you together, even if you're wildly different people, was sort of the idea. Maybe it's a little pie in the sky, but I like to think, it's just something positive,
For The Rise, I'm Whit Laxon.
Thanks, Whit. Now, I'm really actually glad that this mural's back because I haven't gotten a chance to get a picture of it on my Instagram, which I feel like is a rite of passage for living in this area.
Yeah, and I actually feel kind of lucky because just a few weeks before it was vandalized, I got a picture with it. Wow. So I had the OG mural.
Wow,
in my
there
picture.
You go. There you go. I'm going to get the new one. So, whichever one you like. A 5-year anniversary celebration for the mural was scheduled for March 25th, but it was actually postponed for inclement weather.
But a new date has yet to be announced, but you can follow DCXV Industries on social media for updates. Well, a new sugary spot just opened here in Murfreesboro, and it's sure to satisfy your sweet tooth. Hattie Jane's Creamery had its grand openings just last week, and its location next to Puckett's on the square makes it an easy stop to go in and get a tasty treat. But they don't just scoop ice cream, they also serve coffee and baked goods. This is the second Hattie Jane's location to open, and the first location is in Columbia. And I actually got to go to this ice cream shop just the other day. It's actually great because they had a dairy-free ice cream option because I'm lactose intolerant, but you should definitely go.
Well, I don't know how dairy-free ice cream would taste, but I'm sure that it's still okay. I don't know. I'm actually glad we've got a creamery here in Murfreesboro, a hometown style. I feel like we've been needing one of those for a while. Well, a Tennessee middle schooler takes her hobby into a mind-throbbing competition that most adults couldn't even compete in.
And reporter Lauren Frederick tells us more about what this young, savvy student can do.
Ready, set, go. Socially, Brianna McVeigh fits right in with your average 8th grader.
And I was like, what more do you expect?
But academically, she's above average.
I don't really know what job, but I know that I'd want to major in something like applied physics or astrophysics, stuff like that.
This year is Brianna's second year participating in the Linguistics Olympiad hosted by Middle Tennessee State University.
I think I did pretty well. There were a couple that were pretty difficult, but there were some that were just kind of like you started it and then you're like, oh wait, this matches with this.
When I was in middle school, I didn't even know it was a thing. Granted, that could just be the middle school I went to because I do love languages and have all my life. But on average, I would not say middle schoolers are interested in linguistics.
She has no problem stepping out on her own, but wishes her friends could get a taste of what this experience is like.
Especially since I'm the only one from my school here right now. But I feel like a lot of them would enjoy it, but I don't think it really kind of like appeals to them. Like, it's one of those things where at first you don't like it, but then you start getting into it.
Although thanks to this opportunity, she has met and made friends that can relate to her linguistic speech passion.
I'll have to, I want to be a missionary in Albania, so I would have to learn Albanian. That'd be difficult.
I feel like other people would just kind of think it's boring because, I mean, when you first look at it, you're just like, oh, translating languages. Well, I don't really know too much about foreign languages, so I don't really feel like that's good for me.
But at the end of the day, after Brianna is structuring all of her math, science, and language skills, she's also structuring her pathway to success. This is Lauren Frederick reporting for The Rise. Ready?
Thanks, Lauren.
This year was marked as the 11th annual competition. There are over 50 students in attendance.
Well, Mason, after a stormy start to the week, I think that things are finally starting to look up.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's check in with Piper Evans for our first look at weather. Hey, Piper.
Well, hey there, Mason and Katie. The weather, we have definitely had our first signs of spring just within a week of it being the first day of spring. I mean, we've had some rain, some storms, and even back in my hometown, they had a complete hailstorm. Really scary, but really cool actually too. They had some videos, but none of that's really in our area for right now. We have some weather coming through the week that's going to kind of rain on your parade, but I'm not going to give anything away of what's going to happen just yet. But currently in your area, it is a beautiful morning. We have partly cloudy skies. The temperature is around 60 degrees. The wind is just barely blowing at about 4 miles per hour, and the humidity is low as well. Usually when it's below 50, it's actually considered really low, and there is actually no rain in our forecast for today, which I'm very grateful for that because my hair just can't take much more of this. So. But for the rest of your week, we do have comfortable temperatures throughout the week. We're going to have about 60 to 70 for your highs and maybe 50s for your lows. It's going to be really comfortable. Don't really have to wear, sweaters or anything anymore. We're finally advancing into better temperatures, so that way you know how to dress. And spring, I believe, is here to stay, and I'm going to send it back to Katie and Mason.
Thanks, Piper. Now we're going to take a quick break.
Welcome back to The Rise.
Well, March is Women's History Month, and women have made progress to work in many different jobs and professions.
That's right. Rise reporter Kiera Green tells us there's still one major career field that hasn't really changed. Hey, Kiera.
Hey, Katie and Mason. So that's right. We're all familiar with the film industry. We watch movies all the time. And from films like Beauty and the Beast to Hidden Figures, we can see that there's a good presence of women in front of the camera, but behind the scenes, it happens to be a different story.
Lights, camera,
and action.
On a movie set, you often see decorated actresses and actors. In the filmmaking business, costumes, makeup, and camera gear is all expected. But when you look in the background, you don't always see a woman behind the scenes. Which is why Ali Sultan and students a part of MTSU's organization, Women in Film, are working on projects like the Incognita web series.
I am co-producer and director of Incognita's Infamous Adventures. It's a web series about a female superhero. I'm definitely a big advocate for more people getting involved in the filmmaking process, though, and the more we see women, people of color writing stories, the more they will be telling stories about their own experience.
Since 1998, the number of women working behind the scenes have only increased by 1%. That statistic doesn't really surprise me. As far as it reflecting on MTSU students, not really as much as I know, because a lot of the people that I worked with are female. I think it'll be really great once we get out there and we go out in the workforce.
Not only am I helping a woman filmmaker that wrote the story, I'm also helping a teacher here who, Ali Sultan, started Women in Film on campus. So I'm just really excited to be able to contribute.
There are many organizations like Women in Film that encourage more women to get behind the camera. And if you are interested in joining, you can visit our Student Organizations office in our Student Union building. Reporting for The Rise, Kiara Green.
Thanks, Kiara.
Now, if you're interested in other films being made here at MTSU, you can visit our film department located in the College of Media and Entertainment.
In honor of Extension Month here in Tennessee, a local farm not only helps educate the public on how a farm can operate, but also rehabilitates orphaned animals.
Reporter Ebony Waters shares her insight on how something so small can have a huge impact on a community.
My name is Jane Hollis, and this farm is named Beloved Acres.
For nearly 6 decades now, Jane Wallace and her husband Henry have been proud owners of their farm known as Beloved Acres. Every year, Extension, a national education program, extends teaching and research missions to deliver education to all the state's citizens. This local couple contributes by taking volunteers and showing them how to properly take care of farm animals, even those with special needs.
Growing up, I had wanted to be a veterinarian and had always loved horses and trained horses when I was a teenager. So people that would have a sick animal or maybe an orphan animal that they could not raise, I would take it and raise it.
From horses to goats and even pigs, Jane does her best to nurse each with the same affectionate care. This year, a local volunteer got to experience the agricultural lifestyle Beloved Acres had to offer.
I got to do hands-on things like that I've never done before, like working with people in the community, working with going places and doing different things. And I actually got to see what it'd be like in the real world.
This couple feels very privileged to be able to educate the youth of their community in something they're passionate about. I'm Ebony Waters, MTSU News.
If you would like to volunteer or be a part of an extension program in Tennessee, visit your county's extension office.
Also, sometimes I get asked the question, what's the difference between a watch and a warning? When you hear it on TV or if you get an alert, it's a very confusing concept, and I'm fixing to tell you what I've learned. So when you hear thunderstorm watch, what does it mean? Well, that means that there's a possible thunderstorm about to happen, and basically it means just to watch for it. It doesn't mean that it's here yet or if it's coming or not. It just means stay informed and stay alert and be ready if it does. Now, on the other hand, thunderstorm warning. That means a spotter or a radar has been seen and it's very dangerous. Like if you hear a tornado warning, that means you're in danger and you need to find shelter immediately and take precautions. So that's really the difference between a watch and a warning. So warning is very dangerous. And now look at today's forecast. We're going to have partly cloudy skies. The temperatures are going to be up in the mid-70s. It's going to be a beautiful day. And we're going to have a small chance of rain throughout the area, not a big one, but it's going to be a comfortable day throughout the day. It's going to be a nice spring day ahead of us. And now let's see what's going on in sports with Alex.
Well, how did MTSU baseball do over the weekend? Did women's basketball win their tournament game? Also, find out where the Oakland Raiders are moving to. That's all coming up next on the Sports Zone. Welcome back to The Rise. This is the Sports Zone. Well, MTSU's baseball team met Western Kentucky on the diamond on Saturday. Both teams were trading runs in the game. The score was actually tied at 6-all until the 9th inning. That's when Western Kentucky scored 3 runs to take the lead. The Blue Raiders did rally to force extra innings, but then there was lightning in the bottom of the 10th inning that ended up postponing the game until Sunday. The game did resume, and in the next inning, Riley Delgado knocked in the winning run for the Blue Raiders as they finished the game 10-9 with the victory. The Blue Raiders will host Austin Peay tomorrow. MTSU's basketball team played Georgia Tech in the women's NIT tournament. Georgia Tech started strong as they led 34-20 in the first half. Ty Petty tried to rally the Blue Raiders, but it just wasn't enough as MTSU could not stop Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets won 70-57. The game marks an incredible end to an incredible career for Ty Petty. She's the only player in Lady Raider history to score over 1,400 points, have over 500 assists, while collecting 300 rebounds and have over 190 steals. The Oakland Raiders will be moving to a new location. Las Vegas will be the new location for the Raiders as they will move there in the year of 2020. The owners of the National Football League voted 31 to 32 in favor of the Silver and Black to move to Las Vegas. Raiders owner Mark Davis had mixed feelings about moving to a new place, but does know that this is the best situation for the team. Even though the Silver and Black will be moving to a new location, they will continue to play in Oakland for the next 2 years. Well, that's it for the Sports Zone. I'll send it back now to Katie and Mason.
Well, some go to MTSU to find a career in the great big world. Others may find it right at their doorstep. Well, this alumni has found that at hers in this week's Humans of MTSU.
MTSU was the only school that I applied for when I was in high school. I had 2 family members that came here as first-time freshmen, and they were both had great experiences and are doing well as alumni, so I wanted to follow in their footsteps. I think I'm most excited about developing the program, taking it to its next level, and then partnering with different industries, but also the faculty and staff, so that employers in corporations know and recognize how great our students are, and they employ them for jobs. Even being in class and developing as a person, career development is always part of the plan and everything that you do. So it's good that even if I'm not able to connect with all students across campus, that I can make a difference with the 10 students that I have in class. I think it's important to know and grow in everything that you do. You know, once I stop growing, I leave situations that I'm in, but MTSU has provided me opportunities for growth, and that's one of the reasons that I've stayed here, is because I've always been able to grow.
Buchanan's office is in the Keithley University Center on campus, and she says if you need career advice, to come on by to the Career Development Center.
Causing social media craze, someone's coming back in style, a call many, especially me, only dream of. And puppies, lots of adorable puppies. That's what's coming up next in The Trend.
Awesome.
Welcome back to The Rise. It's time for The Trend. Sorry, Liam, congrats on the baby. We wish you well, but all we can think about is Harry. Saturday Night Live's Twitter account announced earlier today that Harry Styles will be making his solo debut on their show April 15th. This comes just 2 days after a mysterious 30-second trailer was posted on Harry Styles' website, which featured a slow walk in an ominous door and the date, April 7th. What's this all about? But I'm ready to find out. Hold up. Who called you? A fan got the call of a lifetime from her favorite diva. Beyonce personally called fan Ebony Banks, who is currently battling cancer, just to wish her the best and check up on her. Do we need any more proof that Beyonce is the greatest? One Direction, Beyonce, I don't know if I can handle it anymore. Wait, you said puppies? We got puppies? I'm dead. National Puppy Day was last Thursday, and I can't express in words how many times I said, "Aww." Social media wasn't ready for the amount of puppy pics, but I guess that's why they call it a viral trend. Well, that's all we have for the trend. I'm going to send it over to Katie and Mason.
Thanks, Marissa. So, Katie, it's weird to think about, but our generation might be the last one to have ever bought CDs.
You know, I remember my first CD. It was the Cheetah Girls, and I think I still have it. No shame. But it's a subject that Rise reporter Elise Stein is tuning into.
Do you remember the first CD you bought as a child? Or even the last album you bought? Well, today we're going to talk about the recording industry and how it's changing. Over the past 20 years, the music industry has been changing. First, people started going to record stores to purchase whole albums. Then from cassette tapes to CDs. And now to digital downloads. With people listening to streaming services like Spotify, Tidal, Pandora, and Apple Music, record labels are having trouble making the same amount of money before streaming services became available. Independent artists like Chance the Rapper are becoming successful, winning Grammys and turning down record label offers because they are making more money than what the label is offering. It is becoming increasingly easier for independent artists to make their mark in the industry. With the music industry changing, it looks like the record labels are going to have to find a way to adapt. Reporting for The Rise, I'm Elise Stein.
Thanks, Elise.
Joining us now to talk more about this topic is the External Music Director for WMTS, Will Long. So, hey, Will, thanks for joining us in the studio today.
Absolutely.
So, first off, do you think that streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora are changing the way that the music industry is being run?
Yes, absolutely. It's changing the way that people consume music specifically, and it's changing the way that we also perceive art in general. Specifically in response to streaming services like Spotify, they're kind of changing our society from one that had to buy LPs, vinyl, 7 inches, all kinds of singles and stuff. And we used to have to buy them just to hear a certain track. Now we can go on streaming services and listen to songs on demand at any time we want to.
Yeah, I know these streaming services are really growing. I actually just subscribed to Spotify. But one issue that I don't think we talk about enough is, are these services actually paying the artist?
Good
or
question.
Are they paying them at all? Is it a little bit? How much is it?
Well, actually, I have an article here from Damon Krukowski, who was a member of a band called Galaxy 500 in the 90s. He talks about it on Pandora, just in general. Their song Tugboat was played 7.8 thousand times.
Wow.
On Pandora during one quarter, for which the 3 songwriters who wrote on the song were paid collectively 21 cents. Wow. That's barely nothing.
Wow.
Spotify, however, does pay better. It was played 5,960 times, and each of their 3 songwriters actually made $1.05. That's 35 cents per songwriter.
Wow.
Now on Spotify, going indie, which means that you earn all royalties and that does not go to a label, means that you earn $0.005 per day. That's half of a cent. However, when you actually do the math, that's even less than that. That's $0.004611 per song.
Just for
very
going
small.
independent?
Yeah, exactly. Just for going independent.
That's wild.
So, how are artists making their money?
Well, there are different ways you can make money these days. A lot of artists are making more money specifically in response to just the fact that people are going to live shows more than they're buying the albums. So a lot of artists make a lot of their money by going to the live shows and playing these. However, the unfortunate truth is that they're not really making them based on streams, album purchases, and physical sales, like y'all mentioned earlier, are going down quite rapidly.
Well, we really appreciate you joining us, Will. This has really been enlightening, I guess, and it helps you think about what you're doing
Absolutely.
when you're using these streaming services. Let's go over to Piper for one more check on the weather.
Well, let's look at your 7-day forecast, see what's going to come up for your week until about next Tuesday. Today, we are going to have beautiful skies. The high is going to be around 80 degrees and the low is going to be around 60 degrees. So it's not going to be very cold at all, actually. It's going to be really comfortable. Today is what I call just a great spring day. But for tomorrow, contrast, we're going to have a rainy day tomorrow. We have like a 70% chance of rain. The high is going to be near the 80s again, so that means it's going to be really humid. When the temperatures are high and it's raining, it gets all sticky, kind of feels like today. That means that the humidity is going to go up as well. And the low is going to be around 60 degrees as well. For Friday, we might have possible thunderstorms and a 40% chance of rain in the morning. We are going to have our temperatures drop back down into the 60s, the upper 60s, but the lows going to be back down into the 40s. So a little bit chillier on Friday night to kick off your weekend. But for Saturday, we're going to have partly cloudy skies, and the high is going to be up in the 70s, close to the 70s. And then for Sunday through Tuesday, we're going to have a bit of a mix of weather. We're going to have sunny, we're going to have rain, and the highs are going to be in the 70s and the lows are going to be in the mid-50s. Well, that's all for your weather. Now I'm going to send it back to Katie and Mason.
Thanks, Piper, and I'm really looking forward to that sunny and 79-degree day today.
I tell you what.
But that's all for this episode of The Rise. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us.
To see more content from our show, including additional performances from Corey Fisher, follow us on social media at The Rise MT and watch us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. on MT10.
Until next time, I'm Katie Inman.
And I'm Mason Brown. Have a great day, MTSU.